All right, thanks for tuning in. This is the what?
Sorry, start over. My eye was watering. I was just nervous.
Tears of joy. This is the 2024 Rolling with the Beards top 10 games released in 2024. That sounds silly, but you get the point. Thanks for stopping by, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Beard. Been a while.
Yes, it has. It has been 2 years.
Yeah, we didn't do last year's. We missed it.
That's
did not. Last year's games all sucked.
That's true. Not a single good game.
Terrible year, 2023.
Actually, Dwellings of Elderville came out last year, didn't it?
I don't know.
The game's phenomenal.
I know one game that came out last year that should have been on my list.
Galactic Renaissance?
Galactic Renaissance was not bad.
Okay.
It was just the people I was playing with were terrible.
That's true. I am pretty terrible. Do you have any honorable mentions?
You know what? I do have a couple honorable mentions.
Okay.
You want me to start with my honorable mentions?
Yeah.
My most honorable of honorable mentions, and really this game should be on my list this year. This game should be probably number one on my list this year, but I have self-imposed rules. And I'm a stickler for the rules. Previous years, I've held to this rule. So,
are you a French stickler?
Yes, but I go strictly by BGG release dates. And even though this game definitely was not released in the United States of America in 2023.
Was not.
BGG says 2023. And that would be from the greatest designer of all time, Alexander Pfister, Pirates of Maracaibo. This game was so fun.
So fun. It actually wasn't on my list, and I somehow forgot about it, then put it on my list. And a few minutes ago, you said that was allegedly released in 2023. And I was like, crap. But changing my list again.
I mean, to be fair, I pre-ordered it, so it definitely did not come out until 2024 in the US. But there you go. That's my honorable list of honorable mentions.
And a similar thing, one of my honorable mentions is 25th Century's Dracula vs. Van Helsing. It says 2023, but I'm pretty sure I did not see that game anywhere until this year. And it is one of my favorite two-player games. Super fast, kind of area control, but card-driven-ish.
I've not played that game.
Oh, okay. Wow. We'll have to play that. Let's blast through this list.
Pause. We'll be back.
You want to start with your number 10?
Sure. All right. Well, first of all, how many crossovers do you think we're going to have? I'm going to say
3.
You're going to say 3? I'm going to say 3 as well, but it's a good chance we might have 4. But we'll see.
Number 10.
All right. My number 10. Speaking of Thunderworks game, my number 10 was a Thunderworks game released by Jordy Allen. I was kind of surprised by how much I liked this one. It was very interesting. Kind of a card drafting, not dungeon crawler, but dungeon builder.
Yes.
And that would be Stone Spine Architects. I just found this game to be really interesting. It's a relatively quick game, but it's fun. But designing out your own little dungeon, putting out monsters, traps.
Very thematic.
Yeah, I enjoyed this game.
Good game.
Yeah. Number 10, Stone Spine Architects.
My number 10, maybe it ranked so high on my list because I heard bad things about it and picked it up anyways. It's Courtesans by Pandasaurus Games. It's a fun filler game that is kind of heavy. Take that. It's really that you just draw. You have a hand of 3 cards. There's 3 places you can play them: at the queen's table, in front of yourself, or in front of another player. Each one of those cards goes to one of those places, and it's almost market manipulation, but very light market manipulation, and take that.
That was on my honorable mention shortlist as well, but I didn't mention it because I thought that it may end up on your top 10 list. I did like that. I'm usually not the biggest fan of take that games, but it's pretty quick. It's a lot of fun. Good player interaction. 10-15
minutes maybe to teach. Anyways, Number 10, Courtesans. Number 9.
All right, my number 9 was a bit of a surprise. Not my biggest surprise of the year, but it is a push your luck, dice rolling, hairball forming space adventure that I don't know how to pronounce. Mlim. Or Mlim.
I think it's Mlim.
Mlim. Space adventure. This is a push your luck castronaut, rolling dice, trying to make it to deep space, stopping off some moons along the way. And there's that whole push your luck of, am I going to go for one more roll? I have 1 dice left, but I need to get a 1 or a 3 to move to the next planet. Or am I just going to crash and burn and bring my cat back to Earth and live to fly another day?
And the game's a little deeper than you think it would be, because you could look and see what other cats or other players are on that rocket with you, and you may choose a dice that will move that ship past the place that you know that they want to go to.
Like, so, you want that fourth cat on that planet? I'm going to just burn right past it.
Yeah, so it ends up being much deeper and meaner than you think it would be.
It has a nice player mat.
Neoprene mat.
Unnecessary, I don't think, but pretty cool.
Completely unnecessary.
Yeah, it's my number 9. Yeah.
My number 9 is, I don't want to call it a stupid card game, but it is a stupid card game. But I've had a lot of fun with it. That is The Crooked Crown by Outset Media. It's like the epitome of filler game. The goal is to have the crown card at the end of the game. So you could argue that the game has no purpose until, the very end, which is very true. However, throughout the game, you are playing cards that are changing players' card or their hand size or stealing cards from other players. It's pure chaos, but the bluffing that can happen while you're playing it becomes quite hilarious. I don't think I've played a game of this. The whole table wasn't just rolling with laughter. That might be an exaggeration, but it's pretty funny.
It is fun. I'm surprised you made your top 10.
Yeah.
But it is fun.
Yeah.
Short games.
Crooked Crown.
Short games on your list so far.
A lot of short ones. Yeah, a lot of short ones. Big year of short games.
Yeah.
Number 8.
All right. My number 8 this year was definitely my absolute biggest surprise, because when I saw this game, I had not heard of it, and I saw it and I was like, that looks interesting. It's probably absolutely terrible, but I want to give it a try. And it was really fun. Any thoughts? There's been other games in this genre that have been awful. And it's pretty niche.
Oh, Doomlings?
No.
Oh. What?
Monkey Palace.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You know,
I didn't dislike it. I don't know. Maybe it was because I really wanted to win, and I found it mentally exhausting for a game that didn't really tickle my fancy.
You know, that's what I liked about it, because there's been some other Lego games that have just been bad. This one was actually a decent game with Legos. And it was a little more thanky than you would think it to be. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed the tactile nature of it and building up the palace. And it looked really cool when you're all done. And I enjoyed it.
I can see why it's a respectable choice. It wasn't for me, but I get it.
Yeah. Monkey Palace.
My number 8 is a light worker placement game by Phil Walker Harding, I believe, which glad to see him. He started off doing some killer games, and there were some less than desirable games, but I think he's back at it.
I don't know what this is.
It's by DeVere, one of DeVere's lighter games, Cities.
Oh.
It's a nice worker placement game. It's a quick teach. Players are building their own city by getting these city tiles, but then you're collecting things on there like landscapes for parks and different kinds of boats. But what's neat about it too is for a worker placement game, there are, I think it's 4 columns, 4 rows, and you can only select one thing from each one of those rows. And oftentimes it balances out the game. And oftentimes though, you think to yourself, I really want those 2 land tiles because I need them, but you can't get them. You can only choose one. But then you think, what is your priority? Because someone else might take a certain boat that you need. But I was really impressed with that one in typical DeVere fashion. It barely fits right back in the box. But yeah, I was really digging that one. And the art is almost looks like Vincent Dutrait art, but it isn't. Not that matters, but I just found that interesting.
DeVere games have been so good. They have just knocked out of the park.
And the scoring cards. A big part of the game is the interesting scoring cards on cities, and that's what makes it pretty cool. Almost like a Thunderworks Games scoring card situation. How they take something simple, but then the whole reason that you get points or way that you get points are by these different cards that mix it up every time. Totally dig it.
Number 7.
Number 7 was also kind of a bit of a surprise to me, not as big as Monkey Palace, but this is a game from AEG. A little cathartic, but at the same time, pretty thanky. Card drafting, some set collection. But when you're all done, you have this nice story that you can go back and reminisce and look at your trip to Japan. My number 7 is Let's Go to Japan. It's just a really good game when you're trying to figure out how to travel, where you're going to go, how you're going to get there, what you're going to see. It's just fun.
It was fun. It was actually on my list, and then Pirates knocked it off. But then it kind of almost came back on, but then I recalled something else. But yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I really
Very good
enjoy. I
game.
really enjoy the, at the end of the game. Obviously, you're trying to see how many points you scored, but you also have a nice little story to tell of your trip to Japan. A lot of fun.
My number 7 was a surprise. It's kind of another light tile laying game by 25th Century Games, and that is Donut Shop.
Huh.
Had a lot of fun with Donut Shop. It takes no time to teach. Basically, you're laying these tiles out, creating these connections of matching donuts, but you can then fill orders. Basically, you have cards in your hand, almost Ticket to Ride style. It's like a Ticket to Ride, but tile laying. You're trying to get cards of matching donut types, and then hopefully you're building this tableau of donuts together with the table, and you're trying to claim and box certain donuts depending on the cards in your hand. What I really like about the game is the way that you refill your hand of donut cards and donut tiles. You will choose a hidden one or one of them that is visible on like a market or a display. And say you chose the hidden one from the tiles, you have to choose one of the visible ones from the cards. Or if you chose a hidden one from the cards, you have to choose a visible one from the tiles. It's not a huge deal or a huge rule. It's just kind of neat, and I haven't seen that in many or any other games.
I don't know that I'd seen that in any other games. It makes it interesting.
Yeah. But
it's a good game.
it is a good one, and it has some goofy cardboard things that hold like the cards and hold the tiles. They actually almost serve a purpose in this game. It keeps the table clean and organized.
Yeah, I feel like every time I see a good turn for me coming up, I plan on boxing up some tasty donuts. Somebody screws it up before it gets back to me.
Yeah, yeah. Box them up. Mm-hmm. That's Donut Shop.
Number 6.
All right, my number 6 game. This is a Red Raven game by Ryan Lockett. And typically, I've not been the biggest of fans of them, but I found this one really enjoyable. It was kind of different. It's got a dice mechanic, and it's a bit of a race tableau builder. What?
Yeah, it is a race, kind of.
Well,
I did
typically
so bad.
it's supposed to be kind of like a race, or you can choose to just barely move from the starting line too. That is a strategy. May not be the best strategy.
It was not a good strategy.
But this is Creature Caravan. This one it felt really unique. The board I thought was kind of typical, I guess. You're moving from one end to the other. There's things getting your way, obviously, and you have the different creatures you draft, or you're building your tableau, and then the dice affect them in different ways. The dice are just plain brown dice, but I don't know. This one just felt really different. I enjoyed our play of it.
I enjoyed it as well.
Did I say the name of it? Creature Caravan? Creature Caravan. Yeah.
Cool. Glad you liked it. What was the game?
Yeah, it was Ryan Lockett. I don't know, Red Raven.
Yeah.
Creature Caravan, number 6.
What more do you need to know? My number 6 is a board and dice game, which, man, oh man, they are very consistent with producing awesome stuff. They got the whole T series of games. This one is one of their lighter ones. I would say it's even lighter than Windmill Valley. That is Reef Project. I dig me some Reef Project. It's a good one. Basically moving around the map and burning cards, kind of like hand management to hopefully upgrade your ship, which will give you better perks and stuff throughout the game. And you're dropping these reef balls down. And then there's kind of an area control aspect. You're kind of Ticket to Ride, building paths around different areas on the board to be able to claim them, to score points. It was a fun one. I regret not doing that pre-order on that, because someplace, I think it was Game Nerds, had it for $25 or $30 or something stupid cheap. That is Reef Project. Have you played it?
My number 5 is a game from Board and Dice.
Oh.
Number 5.
It's called Reef Project. I don't know if you might have heard of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, first crossover. Actually, I like this game way better than you. I like it as a 5. You only liked it as 6. But yeah, this game is just fun. It's so much fun. And it has reef balls.
Yeah,
so
reef
what
balls.
else to say? But no, it's really cool. There's several different tracks. You have the science track, what do they call it? The exploration track on the bottom. I like how you said that it's kind of Ticket to Ride style where you're building out your routes. But as you build them out, you're actually also making them cheaper for other people to use your path, because you have to spend energy to get from point A to point B. And as you drop your reef balls, you spend less. It costs less energy, obviously, when the reef balls are out there to get from one place to another. But other people can also use your reef balls to get there cheaper as well. But no, I really enjoyed this game. I liked it a lot. It was just really pretty. It was an interesting idea of you cleaning up the ocean, making the world a better place. So,
Reef balls.
Reef Balls from Reef Project from Board and Dice.
My number 5 is kind of a peculiar situation because I've only got it to the table once. However, Dwellings of Eldervale was one of my favorite games of all time, I would say right now. Like, I love that game so much. Play it multiple times every weekend. And then, so how is it pronounced? Andromeda's Edge.
Andromeda's Edge.
Yeah, it's only coming in at number 5 because I'm not 100% sold on it yet. Currently, I think Andromeda's Edge is probably a better designed game. However, I still would rather play Dwellings of Eldervale right now. I dig...
Which theme do you like better?
I definitely like the Dwellings theme better. I didn't know this, but I guess I'm more of a fantasy dude than I am a space dude. So I appreciate in Edge how you can... the engine building seems much more prominent, and it's easier to get those module cards than it is in Dwellings. But there's things about... I like in Dwellings how you can dictate more the shape of the map and some little things like that. But that's coming in at my number 5. It almost feels a little bloated, but... man, it was still pretty fun, and the engine building is pretty sick in it. It's kind of a worker placement game, a little bit of, I don't want to say area control, but...
Why would you call it bloated? What makes it bloated versus Dwellings? Because Dwellings is pretty bloated.
yeah, I know. And then Edge is even worse.
More bloat.
Yeah.
A little more swollen.
A little more swollen, yeah. So that's my number 5.
Yeah.
Number 4.
My number 4 game is definitely the prettiest game on my list. Inlaid with gold. It's kind of it's kind of a rondelle, I guess you would call it. Basically, you're just going up and down a river, but that
It should have been a rondelle. Why is it straight?
because it's a river, I
that's
guess,
true.
instead of it's not a lazy river.
It should be called a Lazy River of Gold.
River of Gold, my number 4. Now this game is really cool. It's essentially a rondelle. You're moving. You have 2 boats, and you're moving the boats down the river. But every space that you go to gets you some goodness. Even at the beginning of the game, when the board's not really built out yet, every space you go to either gives you a lot of money or different resources. And then there's 4 or 5 different tracks. And River of Gold, it's really pretty. It's a fun rondelle game. Moving your boats down the stream.
It's almost like if Monopoly didn't suck.
Maybe
There's the
I get
different
that.
locations, and you're building things on there, and you get stuff. When
But
people land
everybody
on
gets stuff.
them. That's true.
Everybody gets stuff.
Yeah.
It's more fun than Monopoly because
Yeah.
you get something, I get something. It's Number 4, River of Gold.
Japanese
Is it?
Monopoly that doesn't suck. My number 4 is another worker placement game. Turns out I really like worker placement games. However, this one has a nice twist on it. You place your workers on a tic-tac-toe shaped board. Basically, it's a worker placement game, and the more workers you place in a row or column determine the strength of the action that you get to take. And there's like 7 or 8 different actions all around the board. Some of them are racing up tracks. Some of them are gaining things for your own personal tableau. This
Chariot
one,
race.
Chariot race.
There's
yes.
essentially the boat race,
The boats.
the area control.
Oh yeah. The area control, which like throws in kind of a, would you call it polyomino?
Yeah.
So it's got a little bit of everything. That is Nova Roma. Super good game. Probably the heaviest game 25th Century has ever done, and
Stan Kordowski has. This
Yeah.
game's usually pretty hefty. So.
It's a good one. Definitely dig it. And I think Queen Games is coming out with one. I, however, like the art on the 25th
Way
Century
better.
cover so
Yeah,
far. I haven't
yeah.
seen much about the art stuff, but
Yeah, the Queen Games cover looks not good.
yeah. And I don't know why Queen Games is adamant on putting that big stupid yellow wave on the bottom
Yeah.
of all their boxes. Why?
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 Why Queen? Why?
Anyways, number 4, Nova Roma.
Number 3.
All right, my number 3 is a game from the duo supergroup Antoine Bauza and Bruno Catala. This is a remake, reprint, reworking of a super duper good game. This is Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. This was the Seven Wonders Duel reskin. I don't know if I'd call it a reskin. I mean, it's a reskin, but yet it's pretty different. They took out, you can't, there's no option to score points anymore. You have to win outright one of 3 different ways. You can either have The hobbits get the Mount Doom and throw the ring in before they get caught by the ring race.
I thought you said Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
It'd probably melt the ring just as much as lava.
Yeah.
But and then there's also the area control for Middle Earth going on, and then you also have the wizards and the hobbits and the elves and the dwarfs. If you can get support from 5 of the 6 factions, you know automatically win that way. But it has the solitaire type shape board where you can only draft the cards that are at the bottom that have been revealed, whatever. It's really good. I love Seven Wonders Duel. That's one of my favorite games. I don't know that I love the theme of Lord of the Rings more than the Seven Wonders Duel. I do like it a lot, but the production on this game is so great with that the 3-dimensional acrylic see-through thing with the ring race chasing the hobbits with the ring. It's really pretty cool. And then the map with the area control with the pieces. I don't know. Right now, this is my number 3 game for 2024. It may drop over time. I feel like it's almost designed so well. The game is so tight. It's almost too tight. I feel like I've played it a lot. And every game I've played has come down to really like the last couple of like, you can see, oh, I'm going to lose within 2 turns. There's nothing I can do about it kind of thing. I don't know. And somebody always wins in almost like the last card every time. So it feels a little almost too tight. I don't know if I can explain. I don't know if that makes sense, but it is a great game. And I do really like it.
I have yet to play it. I want to play it.
It's fun. It's a good one. Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle Earth.
My number 3 is our second crossover, I believe. That is Thunderworks Games Stone Spine Artifacts.
Wow, number 3, huh?
I love the theme. I love the variation in the card scoring. I dig card drafting games. Thunderworks Games is very consistent with producing good games. I mean, even their worst game, Goblin Vaults, is still a good game.
I like Goblin Vaults.
Like it's just a good game. Like even their worst is better than some people's best. They're just very consistent, and it takes place in that same Ulos universe, which is kind of strange. I thought that was sort of silly because it's kind of a D&D adjacent thing, but I've come to appreciate it and enjoy the Ulos universe. I guess they have a comic and stuff too, or a graphic novel.
Really?
Yeah, I may need to check that out.
Yeah.
Anyways. Number, what was that?
3.
Stone Spine.
Stone Spine Architects.
Yep.
All right.
Is it Stone Spine or is it Spine Stone? I can never.
Stone Spine.
Stone Spine.
Number 2.
Number 2. My number 2 is a game from Michael and Katie Crandall from Rebirth Games. This is a game that, I don't know. I had not heard about it, but I really, really liked it a lot. You know what it is? It's probably on your list. Chemical Overload.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Dominion-esque type game where you're deck building cards to build potions. At first, I found it kind of fiddly. A few of the rules felt kind of fiddly. It's hard to keep track of how many actions you have. But man, it's just really fun. And every time I play it, I just want to play it again. There's a lot of different cards, like in Dominion. You can set up the board a lot of different ways. The fact that it comes with all of those central board and your player boards to kind of keep the cards organized is nice. But essentially, you're just, deck building at its finest. You're drawing 5 cards, using those cards to take actions, to buy ingredients, to buy new vials, test tubes, something to then use those vials and ingredients to mix to make new potions. And the potions give you new actions or victory points. And it's just a great deck building game. And it lends itself to the possibility of numerous expansions, lots of variety. Just really found it to be a lot of fun.
Surprised that was that high on your list.
Number 2, really?
Yeah. It's a good game.
I really like deck building, and I love Dominion. Still great after all these years, and I just enjoy that simplicity of a good deck builder.
It feels thematic too.
It does, yeah.
For some reason. My number 2 is another crossover. Meow. I'm
not surprised.
I think I've gifted that game to so many people for Christmas. I just really like Meow. It has never failed me. I've played it everywhere. Play it here, play it at friends' houses, play it at church. It's such a good game.
Have you played it at 2?
I have not played it at 2.
I've not played it at 2 either.
I take that back. I kind of have. One time we had a third that had to leave, and the 2 players, we finished it off, and it was It was still fun. Not as much fun as
5.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get some of your buddies around, slap happy, or after a couple beers, and
Yeah,
the trash talking is
Yeah. Like,
top notch. Yeah, come on.
do it.
You won't do it. You won't do it.
Do it,
Listen,
bro,
which
bro,
makes
bro.
perfect thematic sense.
Yeah. And there you're sitting on the ship with your parachute, egging them on to roll it one more time.
Yeah, yeah. We failed to mention each cat that you put on these ships has different special abilities. So you can put a cat on there that you don't crash and you don't burn, and you're guaranteed to get something. So you could trash talk. You're like, "Come on, you can do it. Roll them again." You know. Meanwhile, knowing that you're safe,
Perfectly
from,
safe.
Yeah, any harm. So my number 2 is Meow.
Man,
So good.
it is a lot of fun.
Number 1.
All right, here we are. The moment we've all been waiting for.
Number 1.
Number 1. And my number 1 is a crossover.
Oh.
Yes. This is the 25th century game from Stan Cardassia that I think was
Oh.
your, what, number 4?
Number
Nova Roma.
Nova Roma. Nice.
Yeah, I really Nova Roma. I
Number
love
4.
worker placement, and this is an excellent worker placement game where, you know, as you said, you know, I put my worker here, and my next turn, if I go in that same row or that same column, you know, it makes my actions even better. And then it's definitely very Feldish with the point salad. Like, there's so many different things you can do with it. You know, the Tetrisy area control on the top right part of the board. Then you got the boats that you're going around. You have your choice. You have 2 boats. You can go 2 different directions you want, or they can both go the same direction. You're kind of racing around, getting various things on your way to the end. And then you have the chariot races going on the bottom to score after every round.
And that's just one layer of the game. There's the whole other layer of the game of trying to set up those Cascadian turns to be bigger and bolder.
Yeah.
So, you know, I might be ahead in your chariot race, and I think that you're going to try to drop a double dude down on that chariot race, and, you know, I might have to block you.
Yeah.
I want that chariot race.
Yeah. Yeah, this game is it's really great. I love point salad games. We have a lot of different options, a lot of different things happening, different ways to get points. Throw that in with some really good worker placement, and it just real nice. Real nice, Clark.
And while busy, the board is pretty.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Nova Roma. New Rome, as we say here in America.
My number 1, you can probably guess it.
I don't know. I think
It's another crossover.
Your number 1's a crossover?
Yes.
Don't wait, it's going to be...
Chemical Overload.
Oh! Well, I would have guessed that, but you were like, I'm surprised that was that high on your list.
Yeah.
I was surprised when you said that, because I was like, I thought you loved that game.
I do love that game. That's one of sometimes I get games and then I play them and then I think to myself, man, I have to play this game again, because I can't like do a review on it and just play it once. You know, I got to play it several times. After playing Chemical Overload several times and not needing to play it anymore, I'm still like right now would totally throw down on a game of Chemical Overload.
Let's pause the video and just set
Let's
it up.
do it. It's so much fun, and there's so many different cards in there, so you can change up the gameplay. It does have like,
It does.
it does. It has suggested sets of cards to play with, and most of those suggested sets are really good. I do wish it came with a deck of randomizer cards, so you could randomize like a setup that way. Easier than, I mean, I guess you can just pull out some cards, but it is, we already talked about it, but it is so much fun. So much fun. It's so fast.
You know, the only thing that I think this game gets a little ding, the box insert, is I don't think good.
It's okay.
You need to be able to separate all the different ones. Having to go through and be like, oh, what is this, level 1? You're like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
That's pretty petty.
it is. But no, I feel the same way. And, you know, I have all my potions, or all the level 2 potions together, all the level 3 potions.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if you could separate those out.
Like a
And
Dominion
also,
insert.
I don't think I may need to sleeve it,
It
because
needs
it's
sleeve, probably.
getting a little worn, because it is such a great game. However, I don't know how I'll fit them back in the box after they're being sleeved. Anyways, I mean, I guess that's a good problem to have. But yeah, my number 1, I love the aesthetics of it. I love the theme. It almost feels thematic as you're playing it. There's so many different roads to victory, it feels, when you're playing it. You know,
Yeah,
you get
and
the 3 crimsons in the beginning. You turn those 3 crimsons in for a...
Every time, first turn, I like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah, but if you happen to got a blue in there, or not a blue,
Yeah, blue and a red,
sapphire,
and a
turn
green.
that, in for some of that emerald goo. Man, I don't know. It's just such a tasty game. wasn't expecting a whole lot. It's the publisher's first game. I think it may even been self-published. It's just absolute phenomenal. And I think they just got to deal with someone to sell it out of some retail store outside of their website. So
Nice.
But yeah, definitely pick up a copy. It is so good. Chemical Overload.
2024 top 10 list done before the end of 2024.
Yeah, and maybe we can do a list for, we should retro do a 2023 list. So leave a comment down below on if you think we should do that, because that always works. Because whenever you say leave a comment, people always do. And it always helps the algorithm so much. Anyways, if you found this episode informative or entertaining at all, please consider clicking that subscribe button. And no dogs walked by today, so we couldn't pick up any dogs, throw them on the table. But
thanks for having me.
Thanks for stopping by, Mike.
It's been so long since I've been on.
It has been so long.
Yes, Corey, my hands were little. I hear you. Every time Corey makes a comment about my hands.
He's kind of a dick.